In the greenhouse today, we had some things to do today, and then I got out here early afternoon and I thought, why not do a garden tour for April? Now, it's not looking super great, but I do have stuff in the ground. Stuff is actually growing now. There's still stuff that needs to be fixed. There is weeds in the garden. There's just like, it's kind of chaotic. But I just got some more things started. I'm going to show you those, and then we're going to take a tour of the garden real quick and see what we got growing. So these are my poor little seeds. These back here, I have no idea really what they are. Didn't do a very good job. So I've got tomatoes and peppers back here. I've got some squash or probably cucumbers. I do know what these four right here are. These are the, yep, totally went blank on those. Loofahs, thank you. Okay, loofahs. Yes, these are loofahs. These are just cucumbers. I've got different plants coming up here, but these are either jalapenos, tomatoes, and stuff like that. These I just planted. These are all pumpkins, watermelons. Actually, no, these are not pumpkins. These are spaghetti squash, and we've got other squash in here, winter squash. We've got some other melons and okra. So watermelons in that, and believe the winter squash is somewhere over here. So that's what I have going on right there. And then over here we have marigolds, which didn't come up as well as what they normally do. So I don't know, some little onions I haven't got planted out yet. And then over here I have some of the pumpkins over here. So this is pumpkin tray, and then I've got some different flowers and some other herbs over here that hopefully are going to do well. I've got one coming up right there, so that's good. This is a different mix with soil blocking that I'm trying, so we're going to see how it works. All right, let's step out of there because the wind is blowing. It feels a lot better out here than it does in there. And I'm going to show you what I have done so far in the garden. It's really actually a mess. It looked so much better when the beds were all in the garden because I had cardboard down. I didn't have as many weeds. I'm going to have lots of weeds if I don't get a handle on those. But I have like herbs and stuff coming up everywhere. So let's start right here by the greenhouse. I do have lots of violets that I planted here. I put the elephant ear out here. We're going to see how it does in this pot. It's already coming up a little bit and starting to put out a little leaf, so we'll see how that does. I have some of the yarrow that I transplanted from the yard. It's coming up really well. Now, this here is horseradish. There's some comfrey coming up. Comfrey. There's a comfrey back here. If you ever plant comfrey, just know you're going to have it everywhere. So this is actually going to be cut down, and it will grow right back. If you remember last year, I can like cut this back, and I'll harvest the leaves, and it will just keep coming back. It's just an amazing plant, and it has so many medicinal benefits. Right here is the asparagus bed. I have been taking asparagus off of that, and that will continue into approximately June, I think, or the first part of June. Here, this is the bed that actually fell apart when I put dirt in it with the tractor, but I planted carrots a while back, so the carrots are coming up really nicely. I think there's even some dill in there. There's some cabbages in here, and I just planted maybe just one kale plant in here. I'm trying to fill in any holes that I see. This over here, these really took off. These are finally coming up. This is the beets bed, and I did put a couple of little kales over here just today because I had them and they were coming up. I needed the containers and they needed to be out here. These are volunteer potato plants. And then I either have, that might be, I don't know if that's comfrey or burdock over there. It does not look like comfrey leaves, but it might be. I've got stuff coming up everywhere because if you remember, I moved all these beds and mixed all the dirt, and now I have stuff coming up everywhere. So in this bed, I do have dill coming up, but I put 4 kale plants on the front. I did put netting up because the chickens will get in here and they'll eat every bit of it. Now, I do have green beans coming up back here. And one of those other ones, I actually have cucumbers planted in the back as well as here, I think. I don't have it marked, but I'm pretty sure I planted some back there. But the green beans is like green beans and then bare spot and then green beans. So I'm not really sure what happened, right there. But that looks like a morning glory that I need to pull. And then some more dill. I'm not going to have a short supply of dill at all. Now, if you'll notice, that right there is horseradish, so that'll have to be removed out of there. Now over here, this is a fun bed. I've got some nasturtiums, and you can see those coming up right there. And these are flowers as well. I'm trying to think. I have calendula in here. I have some sweet peas, but I don't see those coming up. But they're supposed to go up this trellis thing right here. I have to fix that. My fence is kind of falling apart this year, so I've got to fix that. These I actually dug up all out of the, well, over here. You can see there's still some in here. And I transplanted these over here, and they've really taken off. So I really need to harvest some of these. I did plant some cucumbers back there. I do not see them coming up. So we'll see how that works out. Now, this is all mint or spearmint. I have to figure out which one it is when it blooms. It has now come up in this bed, and it is now migrating over here. So this will have to be taken care of. I don't need this everywhere because I do want to plant something in here. And this one, of course, doesn't have anything in it. It doesn't have any dirt really to put in there. But this is another comfrey plant that came up. And there's actually also a burdock plant here too. And it's like coming up everywhere. So yeah, just everywhere. So if we go over here, you can see weeds. And this one is just here to kind of see where I want to put another one. And then I have, there's supposed to be a dahlia in this bed. And I think the chickens might have eaten it. Not sure if they like dahlias. So I put this over the top of it. This one does not have anything in it yet. This one does. This one has onions in it, which, you know, it's just kind of weedy and onions. They have grown. So I'm not really sure. Kind of failing on the onions. Not going to lie. Now this one over here does have kohlrabi. You can see the kohlrabi in there. I added a couple of lettuces in here. Not real pleased with the kohlrabi or how I did that. I should have put these closer together. They should not have taken up this whole bed. Of course, I have this deer fencing up because of the chickens. And then I have some over here that I actually moved closer. And I did put some kale in here. Now back here I do have some beans. And I have like a one coming up back there. And I don't see any more coming up. Maybe they're just late starts. I don't know. And then we have the potato bed. We have potatoes in here. And I have some cilantro that I planted coming up. There is also a bunch of dill in here too that I planted just to kind of come up wherever it wanted to. And then potatoes again with, you know, some violets that are weeding up my stuff and just, you know, other plants coming up because they want to. I do have 4 right here that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. These probably won't be planted this year unless it's late, maybe for fall or something, because I don't have the dirt in them. And then I do have this one over here, and it does not have dirt in it either. And then I have all this space right here. I've been trying to kind of cut down, like put down cardboard. This is actually stuff out of the chicken coop. And then this is going to probably be a mess if I don't get a handle on it. I actually thought about putting a grape arbor in the middle, and I can use it to come out here and sit and have shade. I thought that might be kind of a cool idea. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I do have 2 grape plants up on the patio that will need to be moved. They're in pots right now. And I had two raspberry plants, 2 raspberry vines, plants, whatever you want to call them. Canes, I guess, and one of them did not make it, so I gotta go either get another one or something. But like in here in this weedy patch, I mean, I have like, there's more horseradish coming up, there is dill coming up, there is, what else did I see the other day? Oh, there was chamomile coming up, and I moved it to the herb bed. Now I do have to fix this over here because there is a lot of cardboard and stuff over there. I've got to fix the fence, but my rhubarb was over there and it's not coming up, so I'm not really sure what happened there. I don't know if it just didn't make it, or maybe I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be up, or maybe it's because I have all that stuff over there and it didn't get you know, the correct sun. I'm not really sure. Let's head out here to the fruit trees and stuff. We're not going to spend a lot of time out there, only because there's not really a whole lot going on. So, but I will show you. I've got those peonies, and I do have some blueberries almost ready. The little elderberry bushes are looking wonderful. They just keep getting smaller and smaller. And actually this one down here I mowed off on accident. Oops. So we do have the Ragusa roses out here, and my poor little fig trees did die back, but they are coming back out. If you can see some of the sprigs coming up. And then this one over here as well, there is some green coming up right here. So hopefully these will get tall like this again, and I'll put some more figs on, I'm hoping. So these over here have lots of blooms, had lots of blooms. So I'm hoping I have lots of berries, blueberries, since I did prune these. This one is massive and it really doesn't need to be this big probably. But this little guy has all kinds of berries on it. So these will probably, I don't know. This is an early blueberry. I do need to take notes of this though. You know, this one might be an early one because these are definitely later. So this one right here is so much bigger than what it used to be. But I've also been pruning it. But just like these right here, I will probably get rid of because they're coming right up the center and I don't want those there. So anything coming up the center or kind of going back or rubbing, I've actually been cutting out. And it seems to be helping. It's doing really well. I'm kind of keeping it only so tall. I'm not even sure what it is. I think it might be a plum tree. But we do have gooseberries. Gooseberries that are doing well. This is, I believe, an apple tree that I planted, and it's doing better. It looks better this year. And then gooseberries. Look at that. Got a little gooseberry on there. I love gooseberries. And then we have this one here, which is lucky. Really, these are lucky to be alive because of the goats. But I did plant 2 new blueberry bushes. This one and this one here, trying to kind of get a food foresty thing going out here maybe one of these days. This one I'm not so sure about because the goats did peel too much bark off. This did die back way down here, so I do have to look and make sure it is above the graph. That way I know it is what I bought. Same over here, we've got pear tree. We've got some comfrey that I planted and it's coming back up. This is one of the big pear trees, the original pear trees, and there's actually pears on it this year. There wasn't too many on it last year. The whole branch on this side broke off. This is going to get a major pruning this year. I don't want to have to get a ladder. I want to be able to, pick them. There are some strawberries down here. You can't really see them. And then we have this little peach tree. That other one was a peach tree too. I don't know what I said. I might have said pears, but this is a peach tree, which I don't really see any peaches on it. But it's like lucky to be alive as well. Again, one I don't know what it is. Maybe an apricot, because I do have an apricot out here as well. And it does have strawberries around it. And then we have a little cherry bush that's getting bigger. And then we have this one, which I might be a tangerine. Again, too big. It needs to be, definitely needs to be pruned way back. But it has strawberries out here. There's even some cleavers somewhere. There was last year. But I planted these strawberries and I like to just kind of start putting stuff out here like the comfrey. And it's just really good for the trees and everything out here to kind of share their space a little bit. The tunnel is actually still here only because I haven't raised the sides. It's pretty windy today. It was earlier and this thing was like blowing up like a balloon like crazy. But I'm so excited for these. These are blooming. We've got 3 of them blooming this year. And they have more than one bloom on them. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm not sure about these 2. I don't see any blooms on them yet, but that's okay. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the elderberry bushes because I think I'm going to move them. I don't think I'm going to keep them right here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in between here. The thought was to like connect the used to be the raised bed garden with the tunnel and the garden out there. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there yet, but I do have stuff just kind of coming up. Like, you know, I'm telling you, it's just going to be chaotic because I just have stuff everywhere where I redid everything. But there's like so much dill out here. We've got these violets coming up, and then we've got the hibiscus coming up here. I did plant some loofahs back here, but I've not seen them come up yet. These two little guys I'm pretty excited about because this is golden seal that I bought a couple years ago, planted out here. So now I know that they didn't all die, so there are two out here. I did plant some also by the greenhouse, but haven't seen them come up. I'm not really sure if they just don't get enough sun or what, so I really need to possibly look that up and maybe need to move them. Thing is starting to bloom. I love when the flowers start blooming. I do have to weed some stuff. These hostas get huge. The roses are going to have to already be pruned soon, but they've got blooms on them. The garlic is big. Gonna have to be paying attention when those slips come up. And I do have I've even got some elderberries out here that I missed. And I've got some wild bergamot coming up. And there's some thyme over here that came back. And there's just some other plants in here that I had bought from Rural King when they were on clearance, and some of them are coming back. This year I decided just to throw some seeds in here. I did take a picture of what's in here. This is volunteer, but which is burdock leaf. But I've got some other stuff in here. I'm pretty sure this is borage, and then I'm not really sure what the other stuff is because I just kind of tossed it in here, raked it around. I've got other stuff coming up, and I did the same over here, so there's more over there. Just didn't have the space to start the seeds, so I just decided to use this like this year and just put all the seeds in there and kind of rake them around. I know what's in there, but I don't know exactly where they're at now because I did rake them a little bit. They're probably kind of still in, you know, the area that the packet was in, but we'll see. I'm kind of like going with a chaos garden this year is what it feels like, because stuff is like falling apart. I moved everything, so now I have weeds in the middle. It's almost like I'm gonna have I don't even know, may have a lot of work to do this year. I want to get like a new run for the chickens to keep them kind of in the run and not necessarily all over the yard, because some of them stay in the barn and we don't want them in the barn. The caterpillar tunnel needs some work. It's just like, you know, one thing after another. They just kind of build on top of each other, and you just seem to have stuff, I don't know, that you have to do all the time. It seems like I have a new solar panel that I want to get up because I want to catch rainwater and water my garden with that instead of using the hose water. So I'm looking at the greenhouse, and it's got a much more droopiness to it now, and so that's got to be fixed as well. Lots of stuff. I just need to make a list, I guess. But anyways, that was an April garden tour. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you're growing and what you've got coming up, and what you have started and what your plan is in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to be lovely lights today.